5:15. Easthampton Licensing Board for December 7th, 2015. Do we have any old business we want to go over? Do we have minutes from?
We do. From November 2nd. I make a motion that we approve the minutes from November 2nd.
I second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So first up we have, unless anyone has anything else to say. First up we have New City Brewery Entertainment License Application. You want to step forward, please?
I'm probably gonna need that folder there, if you don't mind.
I'll just take the folder.
Is that inserted over?
It's mine too, but here, you can borrow it. We'll play musical pens. I'm Sam Dibble. I'm one of the owners of New City Brewery. I also have two partners with me too. One of whom ran out to his car to grab something. And Marcel Emond here is also a partner. I believe you have the application for entertainment license, and we're doing that. So as we understand, you need that to establish doing music and events with entertainment and that kind of thing. So pretty straightforward, and submitted that to the board for approval.
So explain to us exactly what entertainment entails for you.
We have a television, and we show sporting events. So as I understand it, that alone is, we're supposed to have an entertainment license, so it took us a couple months to get here. And then we're gonna do live music as well, live and recorded music, indoors only, and that's about it.
That was indoor?
Yeah, that's right. Part of our plan for our brewery and part of the floor plan that we submitted when we filed our retail license application also includes an outdoor area that was, as you know, there's been that large project behind the mills. That's they've just completed phase 2. We wanted to wait until phase 3 when all the paving and remodeling was done before we did anything to the outside, just in case they would have had to move or dig up anything. So we do have a paved courtyard that's part of our premises, but we're not going to go for any outdoor change of premises until later on next year when we have an idea of what the final space is like. So even then, I don't think we would do music outdoors, except, maybe as a special event or something like that. There's also the park, Millside Park, that's right there, where they do outdoor music events, and that kind of might work nicely to have that adjacent to the brewery. That way people who are there could come onto our premises and enjoy our space as well as the park. But that's all future stuff. For right now, it's just the current premises and being able to have music and entertainment on site to go with our pouring permit.
So that's just the TV and the music inside?
That's it, yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Questions? The hours of operation when you're going to be having any type of loud music?
We would limit loud music. We wouldn't go any later than 10 p.m. With music. We're in an industrial zone, so I don't see why it would be an issue. But I mean, is that something that we would have to declare on the license? Would be our proposed hours? Could we just follow the retail license hours as stated on our retail license? Just to be on the safe side. And that states till 2 a.m., but I can't imagine that we would actually do that.
Yeah.
But that's what it says on the license. So if I had a choice, I would follow the hours on the retail license.
Anyone have any opinion on that?
Yeah, probably 11. Or 8.
Well, it's an industrial zone building, it's there. I mean, they do a lot of catering things in different parts of the building and stuff,
Yeah.
so it's really, I think it's more his business operation hours.
Yeah.
We currently close at 9. I just want, if we have our paperwork, it would, the more flexibility, the better, but I just don't see going.
Yeah,
We're not
you
trying to
won't-
do a
okay, you
late
won't be
night
doing
thing.
paperwork at 11 o'clock at night.
Right. But yeah, if it could follow the hours of the retail license, that's great. If you guys have an opinion on that, obviously, we'd listen to it.
Any opinions on that? Any other questions?
No,
Okay. Well, I guess if it's going to be all indoors, one request that we would put on is if you do consider doing any live outdoor entertainment, we would like you to be coming in front of the board before you intend on doing anything like that.
Sure. One thing that we did was file a special permit last year when we had a bigger party, and that would be really the only time I could see doing that, and we would get the special permit anyway because it would be a change from our normal operation. So if we were going to incorporate any outdoor music, then we would incorporate that into our special permit request.
Yep. Okay, if there's no more questions for the applicant.
no, I don't have anything on that.
Madam Mayor?
I would just like to mention that the past history of the licensing board has not been to limit any of the entertainment licenses, that they run concurrent calendar with the liquor licenses themselves. And the licensing board, their past practices have been not to limit them in any way, that they are just to run the letter of the law. So your request is to have it run concurrent with your license hours, and that is how all the other entertainment licenses work. And then maybe really quickly bring it to your attention, if you just look at Cottage Street, for instance, the liquor licenses you have on Cottage Street that have entertainment license, Luthier's, there's people right upstairs from them, Amy's, there is people right upstairs from them, Whiskers, there is people right upstairs from them. So, as far as, the limiting licenses, even Glendale Grill, with houses on both sides and across the street. So the past practices of the licensing board has been not to limit the licenses at all, but to issue them as according to the law, and not get involved in volumes and decibels or any of that. The way the law replies it, and that's how they've been on our licenses for many, 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 many years.
Thank you for that reminder.
Okay, so, that being said, I think that the way originally what the applicant had asked for is if it goes along with what his retail business hours would be, and with their explicitly saying that they're not going to do outdoor music, but if they do, they would come to the board first. I'm satisfied with that. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the general license application and approve it.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You sign something on that?
You
Thank you.
That was a good reminder.
Okay, so, you wanna move forward with renewals, review, approval, annual liquor licenses, car dealers, entertainment, and automatic amusement devices.
Let's do car dealers first.
Okay. Sure.
And then we can do the arcades.
How did we do this actually? Did we do
It's a
did we
motion
go
for each
each individual section?
We've got it. All right.
Do we have the master list?
I do, yes.
I would make a motion to approve
Let's go.
13.
Okay, just- Can we go through it quickly though, just for the hell of it? Are they, okay.
Is anybody not renewed, not giving you the renewal?
I see the list. Oh, no, that I haven't heard.
So everyone that from last year has renewed for this year.
Okay, so are we starting with class 1 car dealers? Or are we gonna start with class 2?
There's a class 1.
Class 1, there's only one.
Class 1. So we have 1, Cernak Buick. We have it.
Make a motion that we approve the renewal license for Cernak Buick Inc.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we can sign them in mass if
Yep.
you like. Next up is class 2 car dealers. We have Aaron's Autos, Cottage Street Motors, Ed's Auto Body and Repair, Easthampton Tire, Hampton Wholesale Auto, MJL Truck and Equipment Sales, M&M Service Center, Matt's Enterprises, Nikki D's, Redline Motors, Sunset Motors, Pioneer Landscapes, Kevin and Joita Neto, Rail Trail Auto Sales. Yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Any motion?
I make a motion that we approve the 13 Class 2 licenses.
I second that.
Renewals.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, let's sign these. Mind if I go first?
I have no problem.
Okay. I'll go.
I know you want to go.
Okay, because I don't want you to sit in my pen and get dirty hands.
You wanted to do the amusement devices next?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the master list. If you want to scan through it and see if it has an amusement device, or you can just read off of the ones that are already printed.
Did anybody, again, not renew?
Let me change for the amusement device. the amusement devices was Papa George had 2, they now have 3.
So you mean they have 3, like,
Devices.
machine, yeah. You wanna just read off of these?
Sure. Okay, so next up will be for the automatic amusement devices license. The Legion Club of Easthampton, Polish Pulaski Club of Easthampton, Whiskers Pub, Harley LLC, DBA Peter Pan Cafe, La Valley and La Valley, DBA Brass Cat, Amy's Place, Casey's Big Dog Saloon, J&P, DBA Papa George, Pascana Club, and East Ham Village Pizza.
13 of them? Look on the back, their numbers. I make a motion that we approve the 13 amusement device licenses.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I have that? Thank you. Where are you going next? You've got the liquor licenses, you've got the entertainment. And then you have all the applications as well to sign after.
Well, I guess we could do you want to do liquor ones first, or you want to do?
Yeah, let's do those first. Anybody not be applying?
Yes, so we have 2 this year that are not up for renewal. Crafty Wheat, which was on Northampton Street, they had closed.
Mm-hmm.
And then P&N Restaurant Group LLC, which was Platinum Pony. They had a recent fire in the
So-
establishment, so she did not renew.
Really? Does she use that thing? She doesn't keep it renewed?
It stays on the premises.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because it's an out of quota license.
You gonna read this?
In a moment.
Hmm?
In a moment.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oops, sorry.
Okay.
Jason, looking
Oh, I'm sorry.
at, I'm looking for.
Can you do the all premise ones, please? Skip.
These are in order as that list.
So we'll start with all alcohol restaurant licenses.
Okay, so I'll give you an order of this list.
Okay, so we have, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
The Legion Club of Easthampton, Glendale Grill, Pizza House, Adamos, Cellar Bar, Pulaski Club, Whiskers, Peter Pan, Brass Cat, Nini's, Amy's Place, Casey's Big Dog Saloon, Tavern on the Hill, Log Cabin, Eastworks, J. Papa George, Art Bar, Glory of India, Riff's Joint, PN Restaurant Group,
I don't,
Kristen Davis.
oh, no, we don't.
She's not.
She's, oh,
not renew.
that's, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Galaxy, Smoky Bears.
That's all.
That stops it there.
Yep.
Okay. They're all present? They're all there?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I make a motion that we approve the renewal licenses for the restaurants and all alcohol and restaurant licenses that were just read.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do you wanna sign these and then?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't be a president. Sign with a different pen. Blue bag. I like the blue bag. Whiskey Club doesn't have a club license, they have
Club and the actual club and the bar.
Where is this going? Yeah,
That's okay.
where is it?
Really?
Yeah.
Right between the dry cleaners and where the building of the razor's edge is, the house. Barber shop, Union Street.
Oh, that building that sits back?
The
Oh,
house.
okay.
That's the Pasco.
I mean,
Never been there.
mm-mm.
Goodness,
It's a-
woman, you
it's a-
haven't lived.
It's a club. It's a home, I always thought it was like a, no, oh god, it's a club.
It
or
is.
something.
It is. That's why I was kinda kidding. How we doing there, Ray Ray?
We're getting there. You're giving me too many of them.
It's not my fault you have a long name.
Yes, it is. You gave it to me, so it's your fault. Almost done. Okay.
Okay, so next up is all alcohol package stores.
Nope, club license.
I'm sorry, club license.
Would you like to just to make the motions and then sign all of these at the end of the meeting? So
I would love to do that.
So we're not making people wait?
That's a very good idea.
Okay. So we're just gonna go through the motions and then we'll sign.
I make a motion.
All alcohol club license, Pascama Club is the one and only.
Yep. I make a motion that we approve the club license renewal for the Pascamic Club.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None.
Okay.
Jason has the master list, so he can
Yep.
just say the next section.
Yep. Go ahead.
Old Colony, all alcohol package stores. Old Colony Package Store, Ferry Street Package Store, Jim's Package Store, Union Street Package Store.
I make a motion that we approve as read the 4 retail package goods store renewal of licenses.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
This goes with that.
Wine and malt restaurants.
Beverage.
Easthampton Village Pizza, Easthampton Diner, La Casita Azteca, Luthier's Co-op.
Under the bridge.
That's wine, malt, general on premise. Wine, malt, restaurant.
Oh, they're not written different on there.
5, under the bridge.
Yep,
Under the bridge.
yep.
Where is that?
That's part of Eastworks. Part of Eastworks.
No.
I make a motion that we approve as read the 5 wine and malt beverages to be drunk on premises renewal license.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Wine and malt package stores. Biggie's Foods, All-Star Dairy, Valley Farms, Easthampton Variety, Jerry's Variety, Naxel LLC, Pleasant Street Variety. Total
Make
of-
a motion that we approve the 4 renewals for wine and malt beverages not to be drunk on the premises licenses as read.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so next up is Farmers Brewery pouring permit. We have 4 on the list.
I only have 2.
You have, can you see my list? You have 2. You have 3 on the list.
I'm sorry, 3 on the list.
Yeah. The last one was the one that you just did tonight. So you don't need to do anything with that one.
Okay. All right, so we have 2, I'm sorry, you said 3 on the list.
There's
Yes, 3. One of them being the 1776 brewery doing business as Fort Hill Brewery. Now, this is one that I'm going to make a suggestion, and we'll have a discussion about it if everyone agrees on the board, that maybe we table this until the planning board renders their decision as far as the special permit is concerned. It seems it would be appropriate at this time that we wait, see if there's any further information we can get regarding that special permit before we go forward and renew their Farmers Brewery pouring permit. That's my opinion. See what other members of the board have to say about that.
Does there have to be a motion?
Sure.
I make a motion if it has to be made a motion.
Well, I would, though, we would have to be able to meet immediately after or within 48 hours from when the planning board makes its final decision, because we can't wait until January's meeting
No,
to
you
sign
would
off on
have-
this.
yeah,
So
you
it would
could do
have
a
to
meeting
be
next week.
as, yeah.
Right, and they're supposed to be meeting tomorrow. Well, they are meeting tomorrow. And whether or not they're going to have a decision by tomorrow, I just personally would feel more comfortable doing a renewal with everything in place as far as the special permit is concerned. And I certainly don't have any problems meeting next week.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't
So then we're in agreement, and Ray has made a motion that we're going to postpone our decision on that one single farmer's brewer pouring permit for 1776 brewery doing business as Fort Hill Brewery. That's a motion made by Ray.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Okay.
make a motion, though, to approve the renewal licenses for Abandoned Building and New City Brewery.
Oh, I did do
I
this.
second it.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 0. Okay.
Just one little quick question. Are you going to schedule another meeting tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We can
Definitely.
do that.
So, provided that the planning board does make a decision tomorrow, are we available to meet a week from today? Everybody available? Are you?
Yes.
Right?
I'm fine.
Okay, so why don't we schedule that to be on the agenda for Monday for 5:15? I assume we don't, well, obviously it's not a regular meeting time, so we wouldn't have anything else.
When is that?
Hmm?
What date was that?
December 14th?
December 13th.
December 14th.
14th.
5:15.
And, conference room 1 will not be available that night.
Mm.
And this room would be used by the
I would have-
Conservation Commission, because it's the second Monday of the month.
I'll have to see what
Can we
rooms
go
are
up?
available.
Maybe
So
A.
what,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kitchen.
Hallway.
Alright, so you need a motion for the other. Who made the motion to approve to Kelly?
Yeah.
Kelly
And
did.
Ray second for the other 2?
Correct.
Okay, next
Okay.
one. Nope, we
Which one is
signed
this?
these already.
You already signed those, thank you. Alright, so, and you're done with that whole stack? Okay, so
Yep.
these are the entertainment licenses.
Do you have a list of those there?
It's gonna be on the same list, but it's probably easier just to read it off this, cause you're.
Did anybody not renew?
List. No. Not there.
It's a duplicate.
You're also gonna have to do a motion.
You give me two of those.
No, I'll explain to you after.
Okay. And you wanna read both of these?
Sure. So this would be entertainment licenses for 2016. Legion, Easthampton. Glendale Grill. Polish Pulaski Club. Whiskers. Peter Pan Cafe. Brass Cat. Amy's Place. Log Cabin. Eastworks. Luthiers. Abandoned Building Brewery. New City Brewery. Okay.
She has them.
She does, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, under the same premise that we are holding the entertainment license for the Fort Hill Brewery, pending a approval on the special permit from the planning board, it's my suggestion to members of the licensing board that we postpone our renewal of their entertainment license until we have that special permit, see the special permit has been approved and have it in hand so that we can review it based on what input we would get on from their supposed approval, or whatever the language in that approval would be. Is there any discussion on that?
I second them.
So, same time, same place?
Yep.
So, we made a motion. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Would you,
I'm gonna make a motion for these.
Please.
I make a motion that we approve the 13 entertainment licenses as read.
I second them.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
okay, I'm not sure if this is something that you want to, save for the 14th meeting, but this is, paperwork that I received in today,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not sure what we're gonna do with that.
Right.
Who's this?
Ray hasn't.
Who's this from?
Ray reviewed it.
Who's
Right.
this from?
This is from, I'm sorry,
Jamie Thurber.
what was your first name?
Thurber, Jamie.
Jamie Thurber, she dropped that off this, afternoon in regards to the 1776, renewals.
Oh, so are you just suggesting that we would?
I'm not sure if you want to, address any of this evening and have any of, the people present to speak on that, or if they're going to do that on the 14th. And my only
Most
purpose
of
is
these-
because they are here in attendance, so if I'm not going to address it, then
Could I always do the question?
In a moment. You started to say, Kelly, I'm sorry.
Some of these things don't even, do not come into our jurisdiction, into our,
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I certainly think that the hours and noise sort of dovetail into the entertainment license, some of it at least. I mean, I would make a note that this has been given to us as correspondence from abutters or an abutter. And, you know, at this point, much of this is the reason why we're postponing any renewal decision until after the planning board renders an opinion, their decision on a special permit. So, I personally would say that's noted
Okay.
and appreciate, you know, them outlining for us, but I think much of this is the issues that the abutters have that we're aware of, and that's, again, to repeat myself, of why we're waiting for the planning board to make their decision as far as the special permit is concerned.
Jason?
Mr. Thurber, you had a question?
Yes, and it actually goes to precisely the point that Ms. Ritchie just raised, and which I think has actually been raised by the mayor and others tonight, and it comes to this question. It's the question that I think you, Mr. Duda, were putting to the planning board itself the other night, and that is the question of who has the authority to say what about the brewery. And I understand, we understand, that many of these issues fall under the planning board, and I just wanted to, are you any clearer now than I am which in fact comes to the authority of the licensing board?
The ABCC.
I'm sorry?
I would say the ABCC ultimately has the authority as far as the
Oh,
liquor
no, but I
license
mean,
is
in
concerned.
terms of making decisions, for instance, the things that, you'll notice that although this speaks mostly to the planning board, it was addressed to each of the other two boards that have any involvement in this, and so that we would all be on the same page, at least this page. And the question just becomes, are we clear, are you clear? I'm not. I find it still very ambiguous. And it struck me that even the planning board found ambiguous. It seemed to me that they were saying, oh, maybe we shouldn't decide this issue. We should leave it to the licensing board. And yet, I thought I understood the mayor to say that the licensing board doesn't set many limits on anything. So my question is, who, if anybody, can set limits, particularly on days and hours?
I guess I would say to that while we're waiting for the planning board, that is why we're waiting for the planning board to get their input to that particular matter. So if we will take whatever language that the planning board writes into it under consideration when we go to make a decision as far as the renewal is concerned.
So if they set no parameters, no boundaries on days and hours, do you then feel that you can consider that issue?
I would say we would not.
Do I not recall their suggesting, from the meeting the other night, what do you recall they're suggesting they would leave to you, the licensing board?
I can't recall exactly what they said. I'm waiting for what their final approval says. That's what I'm waiting for at this point. I think that's what the entire board is waiting for.
But at an earlier meeting, when I raised this same question in a slightly different form, you reflected at the time and said that you thought a lot about this issue, and you thought that the licensing board did indeed probably have the authority to make decisions above and beyond what the planning board said. Did I
I would say
understand?
we probably could, but we're looking for them for some sort of direction. And I would absolutely agree with what the mayor had said earlier today, is that the licensing board has not historically been making restrictions on what as far as the entertainment license is concerned.
So if there were to be restrictions on that, it would have to come from the planning board?
Possibly, I guess I couldn't answer that because I'm not on the planning board.
You understand the problem. It could fall between the cracks. The issue of hours, time, day.
The way I understood it last week, that no matter what their decision on the entertainment license that they make, it was still up to this board that could overrule them. That's the way I understood it. So you're waiting for them. they're
I'd like to
waiting for
see.
you.
I'd like to see what their language is
Yeah.
And as far as I'm
I
concerned, is
understand
that
where you're coming from,
that
yeah.
the planning board, you know, their decision on the use of that building, and I don't wanna, it's hard when you say whose decision supersedes whose decision. I don't really wanna look at it that way. I wanna look at it as the planning board is going to make their decision as far as the special permit is concerned, and we're going to look at that and see what their language is and make our decision based on that. I mean, we're going to look at it and take it under consideration when we make our decision as far as the renewal is concerned.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's the only correspondence I have, so.
Yes.
Super.
You know me, killer.
So careful, right? Defer your decision and you see your task.
You know, I might be able to walk now, but I still have
We're actually not done with the meeting yet. No, they did not make a motion, because they don't need to ask any more questions, yeah. I'm sorry, Mary, but yeah, they still have a lot of stuff to sign.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I move it?
Oh, hey, how you doing?
That's what we call a lifeline.
Would it now be possible to get a copy of the minutes of the previous,
I can email those to you tomorrow morning if you'd like.
do you have the email address?
I do, yeah. All right, you're welcome to further.
This is what we do for our community.
You know, you're kind of new to the board, so just so you know, the way we used to do this is that we would come in without insurance.
Yeah, I know, that's what we did last
You
year.
would sign 3 at a time.
There's a
And then
party.
leave, come back.
Yeah, I know, that's what was last year. We didn't make a motion.
What I was talking about tonight was,
Tell another members now.
I put it on Sam, I saw Sam come in, but what Danny was saying is that he would like to have his license, like the other, like the way your liquor license reads, the same restrictions, because they're right on.
I had to listen to all last night, that stupid Christmas thing going on at the amphitheater. And every time the guy talked, my dogs barked, because it sounded like he was at our front door. You know, they had something going on there.
What was that?
It was, they were singing Christmas carols and all this other stuff, and it just echoes right down the river, right to my house, like this, just like that. That's how loud it was. My dogs would bark every time the guy would say something.
That coincide with their liquor licenses and not put restrictions, like at one time they were like.
Actually, if you would like to make a motion.
They have like the jukeboxes and things like that, so.
To adjourn?
No, not yet. I don't want to find it out.
No, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I think that's what she was trying to do, is to leave before she came. And we should take the recorder off. Make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.